And so that is why I'm here today, to see if you guys would be interested in carrying that for them. And then we could proceed with that, or if we have to look at somebody else to see if they could cover it for us.
And another piece of this, it's not a lot of money, but the county does get a little bit from the use of these coupons. So the seniors get the coupons to get fresh veggies here in the county. It's not good in Lewis and Clark or Gallatin or
No, just
Marr.
Broadwater County.
Yeah, and then, how much they use, there is a little bit that comes back to us. Our liability insurance is so big, I don't think we'd even notice a difference in this. But it does give them the opportunity to participate, and the seniors who would use these coupons are the winners. For us, it's a couple dollars, for them, it's a big deal.
It's, each coupon is worth $2, and they can get up to like $50 for the coupons. And through our department, I would be handling the log, I would be handling everything of paying the vendors and so forth.
That was gonna be my question, so then the vendor redeems the coupon with you?
Correct. So I would be going to the farmer's market with my log, and Jackie will be coming down and teaching us all this. So like the vendors will be coming to a teaching, and so I will be taking care of all the logs, and so I will get the money, and then I go to the vendors, they give me their coupons, I keep track of everything, and then I pay them the cash.
Okay.
So, I think it sounds like a fun adventure for the seniors to get out, do their own shopping, get some fresh vegetables, and it would help the farmers market vendors too.
Yeah.
So,
I did have lunch at the senior center on, I think it was last Monday, with Vic and Pam. And so we asked everyone who was there, we had 3.5 tables filled, so it was a good number. And most said, man, we make too much to benefit, but they talked about how much they use the farmer's market. So people who don't need the financial assistance are getting the nutritional benefits. It stands to reason that folks who could benefit from these coupons are also doing the same thing. Plus, the social aspect you
Yes.
had mentioned.
to get them out, I mean, get outside and socialize with other people at the farmers market. I mean,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, so I guess in my mind, I'm trying to think of how much liability the county takes on for something like that in the public market. I mean,
they have, let me find, she sent me a mock contract. And so, here is the information here on insurance coverage, and you guys can certainly look at this and, of how much it has to cover and so forth. So, you guys can,
And I think there's liability just from our being here. There's no way to get around it.
So does this program just give, do they just give these coupons to the seniors then? Do they come in and sign up and then give them coupons?
if they pass the application, they have to fill out an application and it goes on their income, and so if they qualify, then yes, they will receive certain amount of the coupons.
So the farmer's market is already vetted, and there's a process with our county sanitarian. So it kind of stands to reason that we would hold the insurance because we're already liable. If somebody gets sick, we're the deep pockets, and our sanitarian approved the activity.
Does he approve each vendor? Or how does that work?
I do believe so, actually, yes. And to how that works, I don't know. But yeah, each one has to go through the sanitarian. And there's a whole separate part of the regulations from DPHHS for farmers markets.
You would almost think that if he's approving those vendors, that would already be covered underneath our liability insurance.
Right, to a huge extent, yes. That's why I say I don't even think we'd see an effect from this. It's just a couple of months, it's 4 months.
June through September is what Dawn and Chris told me.
Okay, so yeah, 4 months. And for an outdoor event that we don't have anything to do with, I think, that we already inspect, so we're already liable.
Well, we gotta cover personal harm, loss, bodily injury, death, damage to real or personal property. Would this be under our Mako insurance?
Mm-hmm. Our comprehensive insurance, it would
So
be
they
under
would
that,
just kind of extend it to that, I mean, some kind of a little rider or whatever,
exactly,
it would extend to that.
yeah.
I would almost think that since we already have liability, it would already be underneath the blanket. I don't know that we would have to get another policy for it. I think that's something we just have to contact Mako and see if that's something that they would
Okay.
already cover through our existing policy, because it's the exact same thing of what we're already covering on everything in the world anyway.
Okay. You're okay.
It didn't go very far.
No worries.
Yeah, we have the fairgrounds already, we have this whole campus, adding this, like, again, I don't think we're gonna see a difference. Maybe a
Can-
couple dollars.
Can somebody look into that? Because she'd like to know by the middle of the week
I
if
can
we
call
can.
Julie today,
Perfect. Okay.
and then I'll just shoot you an email,
Thank you.
if that works for you guys.
Mhm.
With that, if I would move that we support this program and including it with our liability insurance, unless it is a fee to the county of, if it's gonna cost us more than $5,000, then we revisit. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay. And that is a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded to research policy with Mako and support the program. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Motion carried. Yes, Alan?
So, where the vendors are over there next to the railroad tracks, so there is no liability insurance provided at this time? I mean, I've stopped there several times, they got some of the best kick butt pies.
They do.
Their bread, that one guy makes that bread, but because of the way the layout there, it's really kind of not that hazardous of a deal, but then people can get hurt in weird ways, I guess, but, do the vendors, when they make their application, do they have to pay?
To my understanding, no, but I don't have a clear answer for you on that one.
It didn't seem like it'd be very hazardous, but, okay, I was just, yeah, never mind. But it does, they do got some really good desserts there.
Thanks, Heather.
Thank you guys, and I'll wait for your email.
All right, sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay, Debbie, Employee Health Insurance Committee.
Yearly visit on our health insurance. Typically when we get our renewal from the trust, I forward that on to everybody. And this year we didn't meet, we just decided to talk back and forth via email on what we think. It's only amounting to $26 a year more than we have been paying. So right now we're at $13.06 a month, and it's gonna take us up to $13.32. Currently, the commission or the county with our health levy and our permissive levy pay $1,116 a month for each employee of that premium, leaving the employee to pay $190 a month. And last year was the first year in several years that the county picked it up, where the employee didn't pick up any increase. And so we also didn't get COLA last year, so it kind of made it kind of nice to not see a decrease in our paychecks when we didn't get COLA. This year, we know finances are unknown. We don't know what our valuations are going to be. So the committee would like to ask the commissioners to pick it up for the remainder of the fiscal year. That puts it up to it increases at another $1,586 a month for the county to pick it up. We have 3 months left in the fiscal year, so that's a total of $4,758 more for the rest of the year. And I ran the math, ran what we currently have in cash, what we have uncollected in taxes that haven't come in May. To increase, that's $202,860. If we even get 10% less of the anticipated tax revenue, which is about $320,000 that we haven't collected yet between the health and the permissive levies, we'll have enough to cover that cost and get us a good premium month and a half into the new year until we get valuations and can reassess that. So the committee would like to propose, and here's our official memo, for you to consider that. And unfortunately, I ran short on time. It didn't get on the agenda last week, so we kind of have to know by the end of today or tomorrow, Wednesday at the very latest, because April's payroll covers the May premium increase. I think I kind of brushed the subject here a couple weeks ago. I had time to think about it.
So this increase is only till,
Well, the trust has an odd year. They imply their increases like the last month and a half, 2 months of our fiscal year. So I have to not only budget for that increase and anticipate what the rate of increase is going to be, but make sure there's enough for our regular coverage. And so I have to come to you for the next 3 months. Otherwise, who picks up the increase, the county or the employees, or do we split it? So the committees in the past has come and said, commissioners, we pick it up, or because of this, we're willing to pick up this if you'll pick up the other half, or something to that nature. It's varied every year. But this year, with not knowing anything, and we know it could change based on valuations, we just, because it's only $26 per person, and right now there's 57 of us that the county pays, the rest is the solid waste, and that doesn't include a couple people the sheriff's office hasn't hired, a deputy, and whoever replaces if dispatcher detention applies. So there's a couple over there yet. That doesn't include sanitarian until that position is filled, or if it's filled. But normally we run about 63 for coverage.
okay.
Outside solid waste, there's another 2. And they're proprietary funds, so they don't get the benefit of the permissive anyway.
Sure. So this proposal's just for the next 3 months, and then we're gonna reevaluate.
Until we get valuations and if there's gonna be any
Except
COLAs
I
or,
would request that we do what we've done in the past, and that is extend that to September, the end of September. And the reason for that is,
Yeah.
we're just gonna have the same conversation in 2 months with the same lack of information.
Yeah.
If we can actually do it through the end of September, this is something that we could address through the budget process and decide starting October 1 and inform the employees. Our decision today stands through October 1. After that point, there could be an increase. I don't see a decrease, but there could be an increase. If that's the case, you will have ample notice to plan. But for now, you're good through the budget season. It's what we've done in the past. It's always hard to look in April at revisiting this the end of June. So But that's what these guys are charged with. This is our opportunity to put that piece in here.
And the people on the committee are basically a department head, somebody from each of the departments. Upstairs, I think it's Val and Brooke. And usually it's Melissa, myself, sheriff, somebody from road, public works, and weed.
Right.
So that was Mary this year until they decide, get themselves somebody appointed.
So going into September, do you anticipate that there's that revenue there for that?
Well, if for 3 months, the cost was, for 3 months, it was $47.58.
Mhm.
So that's through June, July, August, and add another $47.58. It's
Right.
not, there's money.
Yeah.
As long, and that's with being conservative that we don't get 10% of the tax revenue. When you're, it varies from year to year. But right now, we're 57 and 58% collected on both those funds. So we've got a little more than half. But past years have shown 10% doesn't come in, it comes in late. So I don't include that, just so that we know what we have with current numbers. Because I don't want to put us in the hole or spend money we don't have.
I would never advocate for paying the health insurance over a COLA, but a fact that I think needs to be understood is when we give an increase to an employee, we have to pay FICA and work comp and unemployment and all those other little pieces. When we pay the insurance increase, it's not taxed. There's no extra fees on that. It's just a flat fee. So
Mhm.
from the county financial part, it is a less expensive benefit that we can offer employees. Again, I would not advocate that in lieu of a COLA because it's important to have that COLA so that we remain competitive.
It worked out good last year because last minute things changed. We didn't get COLA, so it was nice not to have to worry about picking up part of the insurance with our COLA because we didn't get it. So it kind of kept us even with our revenue, our income personally, but still kept our health insurance, and it didn't add that much. Because it is pre-tax, so it does help the employee's taxable income.
All right,
What you think?
yeah, I think that we should do that into September. And then, we'll reevaluate during our budget process at that time, so. I'll move that we pick up the increase in our health insurance for our employees until September,
Through September?
through September.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to pick up the insurance increase for our employees through the end of September. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carried.
Thank you. On
Thanks,
behalf of
Debbie.
the insurance committee and our employees under us with us that we work with,
Yeah.
all the above.
Thank you.
That makes it easy for me too with payroll to know how to fix that.
Okay, let's see, 1215 Board of Investments loan for building purchase.
Okay, so Debbie is gonna be sending me some information to send to the state. I sent her an email on, I don't know, Thursday or Friday last week, maybe Wednesday when you were gone. So here is the application. I did it online. We have to, even if we submit online, we still have to have a hard copy that's signed. So you are the chair, so I put you down as the guy who's gonna sign. I put in an application for $200,000. We are eligible for up to $1 million, so this is a fifth of that. The reason for the 200 is we have a $14,000 outstanding intercap from the previous building project of a few years ago. That's for some engineering for a second iteration of the project that was done. So that's in there. It would essentially be wrapped up into it. could be, I would suggest it is. The 50,000 over the purchase price of the building would be for all renovations, whatever they may be. Mike thought the number would come in less than that. My thinking is, one, we can wrap in that 14, but two, the way Intercap works is they do not give you a check, they actually reimburse. So when we send the check for 150, they'll reimburse us that 150, then we have a $150,000 loan over 15 years to repay. If we do the new garage doors and renovations inside and it costs us, say, half of the 50, 25,000 or 20,000 for easy math, we pay that, Intercap reimburses that, and it's wrapped into our loan. The other 30,000, when we're done with the project, we just write Intercap an email and say we don't need the remaining 30,000. They say, okay, it goes back into the pool and we're done. Our total debt is the 120. Going a little bit higher gives us a cushion. It does not obligate us to that money. We still want to be frugal, spend as little as possible, but smartly, and stop it there. And we can't take that additional 30,000 and use it for another project, whatever, if there's another building that needs some work. We'd have to reapply because this application is only for the purchase and renovation of this building.
Is there any prepayment penalties on this if we want to pay this out?
None.
Okay.
Yeah. The interest is 3% and it does get reevaluated every March.
Okay.
So may I ask a question? Do we have a buy-sell on this property, or, I mean, are we getting the horse before the cart, or the cart before the horse here? I mean, do we have a contract that says we're gonna buy that? And when was that approved?
We have a verbal, do we not?
Right, yeah, it's been on the agenda now, I think this is the third or fourth time. And yeah, Tyler's been working with Debbie, and here's the front pages if you want it, this is just the instruction part. And the purpose is, for those of you who may not know, is storage for the ambulance. There's 2 large bays for that. It will help with storage for fire district, their equipment, and then office space and a forever home, and meeting space for 4-H and extension. And that, I think, will make the public very happy to have a place for extension. Unless you think that they're really excited about having you in the basement of this courthouse.
I'm feeling the vibe lately that no one's really expecting.
And Mike thought that they could pull the big door at the existing ambulance building will work over there, plus the openers would work over there.
Okay, so-
Yeah, yeah, that'd be a substantial savings.
Yes, now,
Yeah, because I understand that the opportunity this week they pull out of the building that they're in now to go over to the state bank. Everything will be finally, and so, are you like trying to get this done by the end of the month? Or is you guys have a time schedule that you're trying to close a deal?
no, I don't think that there's a time schedule on it, no.
Okay.
So what I would like is a motion that you guys support going ahead and submitting this with the documents from Debbie, and it's the audits for the last couple of years, our budget, and I forget what else. And again, you know, this is pending a review to make sure that there's no petroleum, that kind of thing. Provided all that works out, we'd be good to go. Expedite the process and hopefully get Allison moved before the summer, if we're able. If something happened and there's a petroleum lake under that, like there is under the ambulance building, again, we're not obligated to take this money. We send an email to Intercap and say, this deal fell through, thank you anyway. So no harm, no foul.
Okay. So at this point, we don't know what our payment, our annual payment or anything is, so we submit these documents, right?
Correct.
And then
Correct.
we'll make our decisions based on that. But I know that we have been talking about this building, and we do have a verbal agreement. I guess we do need to have something probably in writing.
Yeah, and we're the ones that have stalled that because we
Yep.
do need to have the clean bill of health.
Right, that's
Yeah.
what we're waiting on. How about, do we need to have that before we send this application? No.
Not before we send it, no,
Okay.
because there's no obligation.
Okay.
What this is doing is setting this money aside, should we be successful setting this money aside and
Mhm.
it's ours,
Okay.
should it work out. If we're not successful for some reason, then we need to find another avenue, and that's why you wanna at least be working in parallel and not be stalling one piece of the project.
Sure.
Yeah,
All right, so this motion is just to submit the loan application, and then we'll have our public comment and everything here in the future, right?
we have it right now. Yeah.
As far as for, if we're gonna accept the building and the loan and all this stuff.
Oh, exactly, everything with this will continue to be on the agenda,
Right.
just as it has been.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I will make a motion that we submit the loan application for the purchase of North Tangy Bank.
And I will second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded to submit the Board of Investments Intercap loan application. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
And one thing I would like to do on that front page is just redo that to put and renovations. It says, purchase of property and building, and I think it should say and renovations. Thank you. And this will not affect anybody's property taxes, at all. So, just to make that clear, this is done within the budget that we have. It will not affect property taxes. Thank you.
Who was working on that, finding out if it was the clear?
And back in BCDC,
That's what I thought.
yeah,
They were kind of looking into that for us.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they work with a gentleman named Earl Griffith, and it's his passion. He's very good at it, so,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, very good.
Suppose they got some of those?
Okay, so we move to a closed door personnel issue.
Well, thanks for coming, everyone.
Thanks, Deb.
Thanks, Debbie, good work.
Question on, that made me open it even because I knew there was a reason. Would a link to the local government website to get those? Or do they want an actual attachment with the actual audit document type of thing?
Welcome.
Let's go with the link,
Okay.
and then
I hope
I
I
will
did
ask
it
that
right.
question. when
Because I
send
did
it in.
find
How's
a
that?
newsletter that the local government service